Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. And I am here with Dr. Mona Jones. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath. And today my guest is the most southernest of all the belles in the South, Dr. Mona Jones. And I want to introduce you. Dr. Mona Jones has an incredible life and an incredible story, but today she's going to be working with us on some tenets of femininity because she oozes it. Now she's sitting down, y'all, but she's serving body, and the face card is never declining. My God, Beyonce never lied. Dr. Mona Jones, welcome to my channel and to this moment.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Well, here's what's happening. Dr. Jones is a client of mine, Miss Mona, as I refer to her affectionately, is a client of mine. And I am in North Carolina right now, and she has driven, and girl, y'all rescued me. I don't know if I'm going to make a video about the shenanigans that happened at the airport yesterday, but she has rescued me in Raleigh and drove me all the way to Charlotte. So anyway, we have visited, we've done our reading and done the work that we were set to do, and we were talking, and one of the things that came through was femininity. Now, one of the things that I have loved about working with Miss Mona is how she effortlessly teaches. She is a teacher to a degree, but she is not to a degree. She's a teacher with degrees. Let's correct that. But she teaches me all the time about femininity, and that's one of the things that I'm studying, and that's one of the things that I've been teaching you guys, the collective, about divine feminine energy. And I thought, who better than literally the model and the mold? Okay, so I learn stuff about Miss Mona every day, but she was an trained opera singer as well, correct?
That's correct.
And in the airline, working for over 25 years as a recruiter and a flight attendant for over 25 or 26 years, if I'm understanding correctly.
That's correct. Retired.
Retired. Yeah. Doctorate in psychology, correct?
That's
as well.
correct again.
And doing so many things. The list is listing, and it goes on and on and on. But what she does is, for me, teach me about how to be a lady, and she does it without being pious or like talking down. It's just these little nuggets and lessons I get. It could be that I'm doing a reading for her, right? So I'm here, my function is to be of service to her, and then she says something to me, and then I'm like, okay, that's how it's done. So I thought this would be what it is. Now, we're still playing with the title, but it will be officially up by the time we post it. What did we allude to that caught me? She said one of her nuggets of wisdom, and I was like, we got to get this on film.
Well, you know, you were asking me a question about a friend of mine, and you said, well, did you ask? And I said, well, no, I don't ask questions. I let the man give me the answers, and I normally get the answers that I want eventually. But a lady never pries, and you don't pry into someone's private space. You give them the space and the opportunity to express whatever they want to convey to you. So it has been my finding that you just let it flow naturally. And so, you know, when you're with the king, you have to know your place. And your place as a lady is to not to ask those probing, sometimes inappropriate questions. And so that's how we got to that point, and that's why we're here.
And that is exactly, you just watched her work. That's exactly what brought us here. Because my thing, I'm an investigator, right? You guys know that I do that for a living. I'm a psychic investigator. I'm in all y'all's business in the best way, invited, of course. And my angels are nosy AF. I always tell you guys that. And so my job is to ask questions. And so very often, even with friends, I'll be like, well, did you ask this? Did you ask that?
Right,
and so I asked her, well, how did you come about this information? And she said to me, well, he disclosed it. I never asked him. And then he disclosed later more specificities about the thing, where he had given a blanket statement like, this is what I'm dealing with. Then he went into greater detail with her about it. And I was like, oh, did you ask? And she was like, oh, no.
And he just told me. And they go into greater detail when they're more comfortable with you. And you have to know when they're at their space where they can talk freely.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, we need to know that it is not always an appropriate time to get an answer. And so the answers come at the right time, at the opportune time. And sometimes we have to know our man's you have to get a feeling for when the right time is to talk about any given subject.
Okay.
They may be in pain, they may be stressed, they may have stress and pressures of workday, they may have personal issues with their families, and so it's not always the opportune time to talk about what you want to talk about. So ladies, let's just make this about your king. And so you know your king, and in knowing your king, you're the queen.
Absolutely. And I want to put an addendum here. The thing that is very powerful about Miss Mona, and I've watched her operate, she knows her worth. That's one. But no one, and not just any random person, gets to be her king. And the same is true for you.
Right.
So no matter what your sexuality, your she, they, them, or her,
Right.
is the person worthy of submitting to? It's not abject submission, as is often talked about here in the manosphere and the red pill community, right? Incels and all the rest of it that are like, oh, you women need to just bow down and don't ask your man questions and shut up and make daddy a sandwich. Well, Miss Mona and I are both fantastic sandwich makers, but did you earn that sandwich? How have you made us feel for us to be in there laying the lunch meat like a sandwich artist? What did you do to receive that?
Absolutely.
And so, again, we're talking about dynamics between masculine and feminine energy, but even if you're in a same-sex relationship, there is always someone that's playing a more submissive to the dominant role.
Exactly.
So what is the person that you are submitting to evoking out of you? So it's easy for someone to turn and say, well, she's being a nag, and she did this, and she did that, and I didn't get enough of this or that. But you will make that sandwich, and you will facilitate luxury to them and comfort and sensuality. That's what Miss Mona exudes, is sensuality, not just sexuality. Is she sexy? Yes. But is she sensual? Yes. And what sensuality is, and that we can tap into, is we make people feel loved. It's not just our men.
Exactly.
It's the people around us, our colleagues. It could be our children. So we are a soft place to land. Now, I did a series in the beginning of the year where I talked about Hawaii energy and New York energy, which is masculine energy. Is New York. It's thrusting, it's skyscrapers, it's like going out and making building a city. Hawaii is receptive, it's undulating beaches, it's a welcome, and we want to be a place that is welcoming, but that is also earned. You know, we all have been in relationships where we have turned that off when someone stops earning our energy. What are two things for you that make you feel earned and willing to submit?
Well, be respected. The art of a man showing you the respect and showing you that you are that lady or that queen. Being respected is one, and then the other is the appreciation. Knowing that you are appreciated for making that sandwich, as you say. So we have to be appreciated and respected. Those are my two caveats for knowing.
Okay. And I think that that's a really great baseline for checking in with yourself, because we all can tell when we don't feel appreciated.
Exactly.
And bitterness grows, and passive aggressive energy grows, and you're slamming the plate down harder on the counter.
Right.
We all as women can check in and know when you have not felt that. It reminds me of that song. It's an R&B song. I'm feeling really unappreciated. You're taking my love for granted lately.
Right.
So people do that after we get comfortable in relationships. Someone that we would have crossed the moon and the oceans for, we are like, I won't even open the door for you. And that diminishes that level of submission, what you're entitled to from a divine feminine energy.
Exactly.
The power of divine feminine energy is it's a builder, believe it or not. While we are not conquistadors and we're not operating out of our masculine, when we come into someone's life, we enhance them and we raise their vibration. They're also able to imbue us with whatever their giftings are too. But we are the powerhouse in the softest, most beautiful way behind the scenes. And that's something that you are privy to when you appreciate your queen. You will notice an increase in your business and in the way you are thought of. It reminds me of Proverbs 31 in the Bible, where they talk about what a wife should be. And a lot of people focus on the subjugation, but what they forget about is that she was a businesswoman, and that they said that she brought good favor onto his name.
Yes.
Just being a good woman made him thought of well in his community. And that is something that we offer to whatever partnership dynamic we are in when we're operating out of our femininity.
You know, Monet, I wanted to also interject that also in being that queen and exuding all of those positive energies. You spoke on passive and aggressive. That brought me to mind about the conflict. How a queen should know how to monitor our conflict resolutions when we're engaging in dialogue. It's not always a conflict of a high and low. We need to know how to get that medium of when we're discussing or engaging. We can agree to disagree, and a queen should know how to disagree and how to do it with that style and that sex appeal without giving that neck roll, so we can do it a little differently in learning how to navigate through conflict when we're talking and discussing with our king. So I just wanted to interject that point about conflict.
I think that that's a fantastic point, and I want to kind of flesh that out a little bit to see what that looks like. So what would disagreeing in a sexy way or in a sensual way or in a way where we still are poised and holding our queenly energy? So let's see if we can workshop or walk through something to give an example here for the folks.
Well, I mean, it could be something as simple as where you want to eat for dinner. This king that I'm speaking of happens to be a little more persuasive, and so a little more direct. And so instead of giving in, because I don't think we always have to, it's a difference from giving in and being submissive. And so there's a way that we do that.
Okay.
So you go, okay, well, love, we went there last week, but this week I'd like to go. Do you mind? What do you think about that? And then make it be
Master
his idea.
Class.
But make it be his idea, but it's your idea.
I can't give you a better example. Do you see the way she just finessed me? I want to go eat where we didn't eat last week and this week. Okay, that's finesse. And it's not just finesse in a manipulative manner.
Exactly.
But we are given and gifted with the ability to persuade. And it's I think a quote from my big fat Greek wedding, where they talk about the woman being the neck that turns the head. If the man is the head of household, we are the influencer that turns the neck.
Exactly.
And the sweet way that she just did that is much better than, you always pick where we go to eat. I don't want to eat there. We ate there last week. She said the same thing, but the delivery was so delicious, right? So palatable that he's going to be like, you know what? We did eat there last week. Okay, let's try this place, because that place is always an option. That's what operating out of our femininity looks like. You don't always have to be devoid of your desires, right?
We don't have to always be agreeable.
Exactly.
Just don't be there at their beck and call.
Right.
And that's another point. We have to know when to push back.
Yeah.
Lay back.
Yeah.
And then we have to know when to give it our all.
Yes. Push back, lay back, and give it our all. Because here's the thing about powerful women, and Miss Mona is a powerful woman. I am a powerful woman. Sometimes we're tired, and we don't mind someone making a decision or taking the reins. But we want to know that our king is responsible to do that and is going to make a good decision. And even in this, as simple as a dinner date choice, she did not just subjugate her will to him completely.
Exactly.
She wanted to have Italian. He may have wanted Chinese. Whatever the case may be, there was an agreement that was come to, but it was persuaded by her without him ever registering that he was being handled in the way that we are gifted
in a good
way. And this is something that this is our birthright as divine feminine energies, is to persuade in a good way. We are powerful, and we are accomplished, and we are educated, but we are also this. It's also nails, hair, lashes. It's also that too. And that's another point I want to make too about beauty. Guys, no matter what you look like, you can cultivate your brand of beauty. You do not have to be a traditional, I am nobody, as what does Maya Angelou say? Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I am not built or suit to fit a fashion model size. But when they start to ask me, they think I'm telling lies. It's in the reach of my hands. You can be a phenomenal woman without being anybody's tradition. Now, I'm sitting next to a queen of traditional beauty. Miss Mona is gorgeous all day long and all night long. However, she does talk about how you can cultivate your beauty, find what works for you, figure out your style, figure out your undergarments. There's all the things that we can do. That isn't about a face filter or a makeup brush, where you can exude feminine energy. And if you never want to put on a stitch of makeup or wear a lace shirt or wear whatever, a bustier, you still are very much imbued with feminine energy, and that reads as beautiful. Does that make sense to you?
Exactly. You can put on no lashes, no makeup day, but you can have that hair.
Okay.
You know,
Show the
or you can
ponytail,
have
Miss
those-
Mona. Show them the ponytail,
or you
please.
have that hair.
Come on,
right?
come on.
Or you can just put on some heels. You know, but it's how you feel about you. It's not what the world. It's what you feel about you. And I want us not to let ourselves go down, even though we may be going through some things in life, which we all have challenges. But I think you need to give yourself a pick me up. And if it's either your spiritual time, your one-on-one time, whatever you need to do, you need to do it so that you can exude you and be who you are, so you can be a better queen.
Yes, and
For your
self-care.
queen. Yeah, and that self-care.
Please.
Self-care is physical, it is emotional, and you need to do all of those things. Body, soul, and mind have to be taken care of.
Indeed.
And you can't take care of someone else if you don't take care of yourself.
A flight attendant is telling you the truth. Put your own mask on before you
Yes.
help the person.
Yes.
A former flight attendant before you help the person next to you.
Indeed.
So your own mask on is maybe yoga that day. It's Miss Mona was just talking about she takes boxing because of course, and self-care in many ways. Whether you're a spa day kind of girl or a self-at-home spa day kind of girl, and maybe you don't want to go out into the world. The pandemic changed a lot about the way that we kind of exist in the world. Do you do your own nails? Y'all know that's kind of my passion.
Right.
What is a little thing you do for you? And it doesn't have to be extremely glamorous. My bestie loves a good bath. That's her me time.
Exactly.
She's dedicated to it. It's a meditation of sorts for her soul. So you find that thing, and when you have centered yourself with that, you naturally exude beauty, whether you are conventional
Exactly.
or not, okay? And P.S., we're all beautiful in some way. You just have to find that, and that
Yes.
self-confidence and
Yes,
self-care. Those are two of the tenets. So your king can be your king, but he doesn't just get carte blanche energy to control you. We don't give away our power after we've worked so hard to imbue ourselves with it. We have, like I said, educated ourselves. We've studied spiritually. We've paid attention with discernment to the friends and the foes that needed to stay or flee. We've done a lot of work. So we're not just getting into a relationship and saying, I bow down. You bow with your eyes still on him, very sexy by the way, if he's earned that, and if he's treated you like a friend and a lover, not just someone that's going to, wash the laundry and do the dishes. You're not his servant or his slave, but you can fulfill every wish if he treats you like you are more than just a side piece. You are his favorite dish. You need to be his favorite entree.
Main course.
Main courses, ladies. It's giving
Main course.
only. All right, guys. Is there anything else you want to add, Miss Mona, before we go?
No, I think we summed it up.
I think we have.
Yes.
Ladies, our brevity is the soul of wit, so we will stop there. I'm so glad you guys joined me and shared some energy with me.
And
Come
so
back.
glad to be here. Thank you
Miss
again
Mona.
for inviting me.
This will not be the last time you see Miss Mona. Kindred spirits and soulmates. Y'all know how I feel about a soulmate. I live for y'all. I'm so grateful to meet you guys in every color, flavor, size, shape, and beautiful incarnation as we have before us today. Anyway, guys, come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.